Croeso pawb to the Prequels and Sequels UK PSN sale. This sale ends on the 24th of March, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. Okay, let's look at the games. Up first we have As Divine Hearts. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 50% discount for a price of £5.99, which is not bad. This is a JRPG series that I've never heard of, but it sounds a bit like a Kingdom Hearts ripoff or cash-in, although it's nothing like that at all. It actually looks like a really cool modern take on a 16-bit JRPG, and it really intrigues me. I love playing the old Final Fantasy games, and this really makes me want to pick this game up. It's definitely made it onto my maybe list for future sales. This game is set in the world of As Divine, which a year ago was enveloped by a brilliant flash of light, and now in the present you play a young man named Zack along with his childhood friend Stella, who meets a chubby cat that claims to be the light deity, and that the world is on the verge of destruction. This game features a puzzle system for character customization, so you have to fit in shapes into a puzzle area in order to upgrade them and apply different things to them, which is pretty different. And it also has a digging for treasure mechanic, includes a battle arena, tons of subquests, and an enemy guide to complete. So all in all, it really looks like a decent 16-bit JRPG, but with modern flair. I'm surprised I've never heard of this before, and it looks like it deserves more credit than it's gotten so far. If you're a fan of JRPGs, especially old ones, definitely check it out, because it looks awesome. Up next is a bit of a maybe, Assassin's Creed Origins. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 78% discount for a price of £10.99, which is pretty decent. Although you can get the complete editions and other editions on sale as well sometimes, so if you want the complete experience you might want to wait for one of them to go on sale instead. This is an action RPG set in ancient Egypt, and the story follows a Magi named Bayek of Suwa and his wife Aya, who get involved in a conflict with the Hidden Ones, who are the precursors to the Assassin's Brotherhood, and are at war with the Order of the Ancients, who are the forerunners to the Templar Order. I shouldn't have to explain to you what this game is. The Assassin's Creed series is huge, but it's basically about assassins through the ages, with each game set in a different time period and usually starring a different assassin altogether. Now, I like these games in general, but this is one of the modern ones, and it's a maybe because of that, because with these modern ones, they added a leveling system, and they made it a bit grindy to rank up. But then they did the nice thing of letting you buy experience, otherwise known as being scumbag publishers. So this game has really horrible microtransactions, where it tries to nickel and dime you, rather than having to face the grind of the main game. I can't deny this franchise is amazing, but the more modern ones are taking the mick, they really are, and it makes me not like the series anymore. To the point where the last one I played was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I pretty much stopped at that point. But hey, if you're an Assassin's Creed fan and you haven't played this one, and you're willing to overlook the disgusting microtransaction scumminess, then it's here for you at a price that's not completely awful. Next we have Battlefield 5. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the low price of £8.99. Well, a low price for a semi-new Battlefield game anyway. This is a first-person shooter set in World War II, where you play a selection of war stories following different people in vastly different situations. In these stories you get to experience the Norwegian resistance, a Senegalese Tiralia, a convicted bank robber conscripted to the Special Boat Service, and a German Tiger tank crew. So it's got quite a diverse experience, in the stories anyway. The multiplayer is pretty typical of Battlefield. It includes 64-player online multiplayer, and a new Firestorm mode as well, which they tried to shake up the series with. I've gotten a bit bored of Call of Duty games lately, and the stories have gone downhill in them as well. I used to like playing them for the story campaigns. Back in the day I switched to Battlefield for a while and I actually liked them. But again, I haven't played these in a while, so who knows what they're like now. And I've heard mixed things about this game's single-player campaign. Basically, I would say if you're a Battlefield fan, then this is more of the same and you'll probably have a good time. But if you're on the fence, there are definitely other first-person shooters with better story campaigns, and a bit more variety than the standard World War II modern shooter variety. So take a look around if that sounds like a better option to you. Devil May Cry HD Collection is up next. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, but it's a collection of much older games really. These are all third-person action games, and this collection includes Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3 Special Edition. In all of these games you play as Dante the Half-Demon Devil Hunter, who combos your way through levels, slashing and shooting enemies to build up huge point scores. The games are all remastered in full HD 1080p at 60 frames per second, so they have the best versions of the game ever released so far. When these games hit the scene back in the PS2 era, they were huge. They became a massive overnight hit, and a huge franchise going forward. They were even rebooted in the 2000s, they were that popular. You don't really see a lot of games like them these days, but games like Bayonetta owe these series a lot. Without these, they wouldn't exist. There's not a lot of this sort of game around, so if you're a fan of these games, then these are pretty much your only option, other than things like Bayonetta. So if you like games with a lot of action, combos, scoring multipliers, with rankings for how you do in each level, so you can go back and play through and try and beat your score, you really enjoy the gameplay in this. And if you've never played them, but it sounds really awesome to you, then who doesn't like playing as a half-demon killing other demons? I mean, come on, you've got demon abilities, what more do you want? For 3 full games as well. You'll definitely be getting a lot of content for your money. 2 sales in a row, another Just Cause game. Just Cause 3 XXL Edition. This was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 85% discount for the very low price of £3.74, which is awesome. This is a third-person open-world action game, which includes over £24 worth of DLC, featuring the 3 expansions, Air, Land and Sea, the Reaper Missile Mech, the Weaponized Vehicle Pack, Explosive Weapons Pack, and the Kusava Rifle. So you're getting an absolute ridiculous amount of DLC included in this game. It's unbelievable value at this price. In this game you play as Rico Rodriguez as he fights to free his homeland, the Medici Islands, from the dictator General Sebastiano di Ravello. And I have to say, these games are an absolute action fest. If you're one of those guys that plays GTA, and you spend all of your time running around with a rocket launcher and a tank, blowing things up and causing mayhem, this is the game series for you. In this game you get to play with parachutes, explosives, guns, tanks, mechs, wingsuits, boats. There's literally unbelievable amounts of carnage that can be had in these games, and it's fun all the way. You can do crazy stuff, like attach explosives to a car, grapple it to a tank, and then explode them when it's on top of the tank. It's crazy. You can even do things like grapple aeroplanes to the ground, so that they swerve into the ground and blow up half a city block. I've completed this one in particular, and from start to finish, it was an absolute joy to run around blowing stuff up and causing absolute mayhem. Highly, highly recommended for people that like action games. You can't go far wrong with this series at all. And on a side note, if you're interested in the 4th game that was in the last sale, they've now put the complete edition on sale in this sale, which is a bit scummy, because I definitely would have recommended the complete edition over the edition I did in the last video. But in any case, Just Cause 4 the complete edition is also on sale for £13.74 at a 75% discount. So if you were looking at picking up the 4th one instead from the last sale and you haven't yet, pick up the complete edition instead from this sale. Or if you don't want to spend money, pick up this version instead and get just as much fun for way less money. Either way, this series is a win all around. Viva la Revolution! And now we have Life is Strange 2 Completed Season, which is a really weird title with the word completed. It sounds a bit odd to me. But let's face it, I'm not giving out awards for titles, I'm giving out recommendations for sale discounts. So let's get on with it. This was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for the price of £10.38, which isn't bad. This is a story-driven third-person adventure, and includes the complete 5-episode story. This game covers 2 brothers, Sean and Daniel, who go on the run after a police shooting incident where one of them discovers he has telekinetic powers, and now you're on the run trying to hide from the police while concealing your telekinetic abilities. So can you and your brother make it to Mexico? Only your decisions will decide. With a branching storyline and multiple decisions and endings, your decisions really do make a difference, and you'll get a different experience than other people when you play it. So there's a lot of replayability as well if you want to go back and see the other options and endings. I've completed Life is Strange 1, and I really liked that game, more than the Telltale games even. I would probably say it's my favourite series as far as those sorts of games goes. But this second one isn't as good as the first one in my opinion, although it's still really good. And let's face it, now that Telltale doesn't exist anymore, if you like these sorts of games you don't really have many options. And this is probably your best option in this genre. It's definitely got the highest production values and best track record. You'll know by now if this is your sort of game, and if it is and you haven't played it, then why not take a look at it? You'll probably enjoy it a lot. But if you're not sure if this is your sort of game, then have a look at Life is Strange Series 1 or maybe the older Telltale games, because they're probably way cheaper when they're on sale. Just check if they finish the story, because some of them, like Telltale's A Game of Thrones, they never finish the story, so it's literally a dead-end cliffhanger. You'll never find out what was going to happen. So beware of that. It's pretty common for the story not to get finished in this genre, so definitely pick up the bundles where the complete story's included, and make sure there's an ending to it first. And now it's my star buy, the Mega Man Legacy Collection. It was released in 2015, so it's 6 years old, but these games are much older than that. And it's on a 67% discount for the low price at £3.95, which is crazy because it includes 6 full games. These are an absolutely legendary series of 2D action platformers, and this bundle includes the first 6 Mega Man games, with a new museum and challenge mode added as well. So there's a lot more playability, and a lot more behind the scenes stuff for fans of the series. You should know about these games already, but just in case you don't, in these games you play the legendary Mega Man, who's fighting against the evil Dr. Wily and his robot masters. And as you defeat each robot master, you gain their ability for yourself. So the more you defeat, the more powerful you become, and eventually becoming the ultimate robot hero of mankind. These games are well known for being legendary, but also for being a difficult challenge, although I've completed a few for myself, and I don't really consider them a difficult challenge. But then again, I grew up in the era where these were the standard, so maybe I'm a bit biased because I grew up on games of this era, when you had to actually get good at the game to complete them rather than just turning the difficulty down. But either way, they're really high quality platformers, and they're a lot of fun to play. And if you've never played them, at this price you can't go wrong. They're nearly 50p a game. It's dirt cheap. I would definitely recommend them for old school game fans. And for anyone else that's curious, if you always hear a lot of talk about these old sorts of games and you've never played them, then why not pick them up? Because for this price, you're basically getting a complete introduction to the genre. A legendary game series at a legendary price. They're my star buy for a reason. Check them out. More old school next. Metal Slug Anthology. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the crazy price of £3.99, which is ridiculous. This is a 2D run and gun series, kinda like Contra, but with better visuals. This pack includes Metal Slug 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and X. And games 1 to 5 and X are ports of the Neo Geo versions, which are obviously the most advanced and best versions of the games, and then version 6 is a direct port to the arcade release. So this is a really good bundle because you're getting the best versions of all of these games. In this legendary series, you play as a group of Peregrine Falcon Strike Force, fighting against the rebel army to prevent their coup d'etat. Let's face it, there's not much story to these games, but they're arcade classics, where story didn't matter and it was all about gameplay. And that's where these excel. The gameplay is phenomenal. If you're a fan of Contra or other run and gun games, then you should know about these games already, and you've probably owned one or two or at least played them at some point, because they're one of the most famous franchises of this genre, and because you're getting 7 of these games for this price, that's a ridiculous value. It really is. There's so much fun to be had if you like these games, it's unreal. So again, it's a bit like the Mega Man collection. If you're a fan of this genre, then why not pick them up? And if you've never played this genre before, or you're just curious, then this is a really good opportunity to have a go at them, because it's really cheap and you get a lot for your money. These games are worthy of your time if you're interested. A really cool puzzle game is next, Peggle 2. It was released in 2014, so it's 7 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the low price of £2.49, which is really good. Now there is a complete edition of this that's not on sale, so if you're looking for the complete version, you might want to wait for that edition to go on sale instead. But in general, I don't see this game on sale very often, so you might want to pick this up anyway. This is a skill-based puzzle game that involves shooting metal balls at grids of pegs in order to achieve the best scores possible. And it features over 120 levels, with 5 masters to play, each have different skills which change the way the game plays. And there's also a 4-player party mode, and a 2-player duel mode as well, which is a nice addition to have local multiplayer available. I was a big fan of the first version of this game, and its spin-off Peggle Knights. I played them a load on PC, and I really loved them. I like puzzle games, but because this is skill-based as well, it was really addictive, and it was just that one more try vibe to try and get the perfect score or the highest rating you could get for the levels. I really enjoyed these games, and I bought and completed this game years ago when it came out for PS4, and it didn't take me long to complete it, like half a week. but I had a ton of fun doing it. It really brought back all the fun Peggle days from PC. So I really can't recommend this highly enough. I really enjoy it. It's simple, addictive, replayable fun. And if you've got any interest in it, I would definitely recommend taking a look at it, because I had a lot of fun playing it, and I think you will too. And the final game I have for you is Unravel the Yarny bundle. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the low price of £4.99, which is pretty good for 2 AAA games. These are both puzzle platformers, and it includes the first and second game of the series. In both of these games you play as Yarny, who's a character made from a single thread of yarn, on a journey through a world filled with physics-based puzzle platforming. And the second game includes local co-op, since there are 2 Yarny characters for double the fun. You don't have to play the second game as local co-op, you can play it on your own, controlling both characters. But obviously it's way more fun to play with a friend, partner or kid. It's not very often you see AAA puzzle platformers, and these are 2 of the most highly publicised ones of recent years. They were reviewed really highly, the players had really good opinions of them, and they look really cool and interesting to play, which is pretty much all you want from a puzzle platformer. If you're a fan of puzzle platformers but you never played these, then you definitely should take a look at them. And if you're not a fan of puzzle platformers, or you're not sure about these games, then there are a lot of puzzle platformers around in different sales, so you might want to take a look at a future sale instead. And that's all the games I have for you for the Prequels and Sequels UK PSN sale. So what did you think of the games I picked? If you liked them, then drop the video a like. And if you didn't like them, then throw your complaints down in the comments and we can argue about it later. And don't forget the star buy. Did you think another game deserved it more than what I picked? Or were you happy with the game I chose? Or maybe there were games I didn't include at all that you thought deserved to be on this list. Again, throw all your arguments down in the comments and we'll talk about it later. Other than that, I hope you guys found some games you're interested in, but more importantly I hope you guys saved a lot of money. I'll see you guys in the next sale. Hoil Vour.